aggressions on the track and the kind of relationship that he's built over the years. Let's request Tarun to please come forward and come on, let's give a big round of applause. Lot of hard work. Can you take that mic? And one more important thing, he's a very, very good cap collection, and over the years I've known him, he's not even given me one cap. Yeah? That will also not happen. So congratulations, Tarun. I request you, I think you want to do 4 to 5 rounds of it. Go ahead and tell us more about Autumn GP1.
So good morning, all guests, parents and riders, and also our federation and our sponsors. So first I would like to thank you all for making this happen. So moving on to the Autumn GP. So where it all started is 2019 when we started doing our training in abroad. We saw a lot of other Asian riders practicing in smaller mini bikes. So that's where we understood we could not have any such bikes in India back in 2019, and also the underground bikes are not available in India. So my team, it's not just me, it's always my team. We started doing research how we can do something, a made in India product. It's always a first preference for us. And then 2020 was a very tough time, and during the pandemic we actually started this project. And it took us 3 years to make this day happen. It's not just we started last year after the V-Bike series. So 2020 was the first prototype was developed, and 2021 and 2022 we took 2 years to test the bikes on various tracks, and the most number of testings were carried out in Miko Garopia. So first I would like to thank the Miko Garopia, the track management supported me a lot. And also we tested in multiple tracks like Karimoto Speedway and Chennai, test tracks and a lot of other tracks. Now coming back to this concept, it's not only just for the kids to race, even in other foreign countries you can see the adult riders used to get trained on the smaller bikes. So this concept of making this bike is also for adults and also for the kids. But this year we are planning to maybe next year we might have a school class where the adult people also can come join the same. So now I would like to go through a presentation. So by 2022 our bike was but it was always a question to be ready for the production. It was always a question running in my mind. So it took 8 months to set So we are welcoming the teams to come forward to pick the bikes, parents to join the teams for a better performance on the weekend. So we are looking forward the team principals to come forward and buy the bikes and run the show for the kids. So it's going to be with the multiple teams. We want more number of teams coming inside into this mini bike category. And it's just going to be a very simple format, FP1, FP2 qualifying, and race 1 is going to be 8 laps, and race 2 is going to be the feature race, which we are trying to broadcast. So, when it comes to the bike specification, so it's a single cylinder, 160cc engine. It's a carburetor, it's not the FI engine. When it comes to costing, so we wanted to always have a cap on costing because motorcycle racing is compared to car racing is little bit always considered the costing part. So since this is the first model we are launching it, we are very concerned about the spare part cost and also the bike cost. It's not just buying the bike once, it's always when you crash, when you are riding on the track, the possibilities of crash is going to be very high. So we are always having a very cap on the costing part. So the pricing wise, we have a different slide on that. So it comes with a full system exhaust. So when it comes to race, so we try to call it as a stock category, but even in the stock, the bike, how it has been sold to you, itself will come out with a full system exhaust. And one special feature we would like to introduce, a lot of learnings from the karting teams. In karting, they use the data loggers, but in bikes, it's very early stage in India. Very few people know about what a data logger is. So we have tied up with a company called Speed Active from Taiwan, and so they will be officially tying up with us for the development of data loggers also. So every bike which is rolled out from the factory will come out with a data logger. So there is no option of buying additional data logger or you have to buy without a data logger. So, and the good news, the team from Taiwan is coming down for round 1 and round 2 to help the teams how to use the data loggers and also to teach the children. The next is of course the body comes with FRP. So price, any guesses on the price? Two in the sense of 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs.
Tarun, are we bidding here?
No, sorry. Okay.
Maybe we can start with 1, you know, our typical Bangalore mentality of going to the market and getting it for less.
See, racing is expensive at the same time, so, sorry? No, it's not about higher.
Are you a journalist? Perfect.
So, it's not about high or low, so we didn't compromise on safety. We have got the best package of the motorcycle. When it comes to suspensions, we have got the latest suspensions. And so the package as a bike itself is what needed for the track use, so we have got it. And when it comes to tire warmers, it's going to be a second upgrade on the first half of the year. So 2024, we are also getting tire warmers used on the season. But at the same time, when it comes to the price,
Somebody said 2 and something around it.
so I think all those are very close to it. It's 275 plus GST. Of course, GST is a huge amount, it's 28% tax. So the round figure will be somewhere close to 3.5 lakhs. So that's the pricing of the bike. And also, we have invited some of the dealers who has superbike stores and also some accessories like helmets. So we are happy to have them as a dealer. So the whole idea is information to the parents. The bikes cannot be directly purchased from CRI even though you are a customer to us. So we wanted the dealers to grow the market so that you can directly purchase the bike from the dealers. Even the spare parts, tires, everything we are trying to give it through the dealers. So because if we as a CRA, we try to promote the bike, we can only have a 10-15 kids in a year. But when the dealers take the call, they might go up to 100 units in a year. So we are expecting the bikes to be sold out from the dealers. Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We're very happy to have with us our sponsor TDS Good, and I'm very grateful to Mr. Lakshman sir. He's come forward for our certification. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to invite our sponsor and I request Mr. Lakshman to please come forward and so can be applause for the certification. Please, sir, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, our sponsor, may I request everyone to applause, please.
So, the head of design and R&D, Mr. Ansel Matthew. Also, the motorsport management head, Mr. Mohammed Ashik, please come forward.
You are working in your company and then now you become a entrepreneur. I wish him all the best. And we have supported him with tires and he is one of the young entrepreneurs, very agile, very assertive and very, what you call, futuristic young man. I wish him all the best in all his future, what you call job. I pray Almighty to become a global player, not only in India, he will become a global player and improve India back.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think with TDS support we can definitely do that. Yeah. It's always nice to talk to the sponsor that way, isn't it?
You support on tires in whatever way to come and company.
I hope you had that on record, right? Right, thank you very much, sir. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a very important time. The Federation of Motorsports of Clubs of India have had a phenomenal busy year, from a league-based championship to Formula E, and there is still much more. And what a time to do it, where we have from the FLSCI, Mr. Gautam, to come here forward and inaugurate and give us a special address where we are going to be talking about autumn GP1. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you please give a big round of applause for
First of all, I would like to thank, good morning to all the kids and all the ladies and gentlemen over here. Good morning. And first of all, I would like to thank the CRM Motorsports for having invited me to grace this occasion. Thank you very much, Tarun. As you all know, FMSCI we have been doing quite a number of disciplines when it comes to the two-wheeler events. It could be the two-wheeler rally, the road racing, the supercross, and many more to name. Probably we are going close to about 9 disciplines. We have always been thinking that there is something that we need to mold our children from a young age. So we were also thinking of on those lines, and at the right moment, the CIO Sports came up with this lovely concept of engaging the young minds and the kids to come into motorsports in a much more professional and serious way to pursue their future in motorsports. So this would be the stepping stone for our kids to grow up the ladder, and I wish that CIA will do, I am sure that they will do a wonderful job because they have done their homework pretty well. So I would like to congratulate the CIA in their endeavors and also wish them good luck for their projections. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. In the 1970s and 1980s, we used to have one racing event in a year. I mean, and now
no more happening this year. This is going to be the next step, big step for our young riders to get into the big league. And I would like to congratulate CRA Motorsport for bringing in this opportunity for all these young kids to race.
I'm going to take a little bit of liberties with you. Can I get a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, one more time? You're part of the FIM, so I have a few questions. Let's keep it very informal. If there's any questions that you'd like to ask him, I got a question, and parents were asking about the license, correct? So if you can address that particular question on the license, for how young the kid can be to apply for a license, and the procedures a little bit.
Now I've understood that these events are going to be for kids from 10 years to 17 years. Now, from 13 onwards, we already have a system in place through our federation to issue licenses. But for riders from the age of 10 to 13, we are going to have a new system in place to get these riders on board.
So, if you can quickly talk about as to the procedures of getting into a license, is there anything specific that you want to tell the parents? Because this is the first of the kind that we're trying to introduce, and maybe they got to keep certain points in mind when they move ahead with the championship.
See, the format is already there.
Right.
The licensing format is already there on the FMSA website.
Mm-hmm.
It is just that the age limit has to be changed for these kids from 10 to 13. For 13 onward place.
Right.
There is you just need to get onto the FMSCI website, go to the links where you find the FMSCI license forms, and you can apply online. And there's going to be a small fee which also could include your insurances. We are actually speaking to, because this is something for the age limit of 10 to 30, we will now have to go back and speak to our insurance guys to sort things out, how the insurance comes into place for kids. Maybe it will take about 10 days from now to sort all these things out.
As far as if I am and as part of the commission, I request you if you can talk a little bit of caution as far as safety is concerned for the kids. So your mandate, and if you would like to say a few words on that.
See, first of all, safety is of prime concern, whether it is racing or riding on your streets. Make sure you wear your helmets, proper helmets, certified helmets.
Right. Before we let you go, what is the first thought that is coming to your mind? Because I remember when we were racing, I was in school. What do you think? What's the first thought that's coming in as far as when you're looking at this MotoGP bikes?
I always thought we never had these kind of opportunities when we used to race. We used to be like Begborough Steve. We used to take I used to take my friend's bike without even informing him, and we used to go straight the bike and start rallying and racing. Now you've got a system in place, you've got parents, excellent parents like these here, who encourage their kids to get into the sport. This is what is very encouraging to look at.
Very encouraging when you have a champ like Rajani and his son is going to be on the bike. That's amazing. Tarun, can this bike take my weight? Okay. If it doesn't take your weight, I'm going to take your cap away from you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any other questions, you can always address it. Yes, please. Yeah. We've got one team come forward, but yes, that's what we. But Tarun, you'll have to use the mic.
Yeah. So this is more of a team game, so we won't be running a one make. If in case of one make, there is a point of doing a selection. So we are trying to give it to the teams, and teams can make an entry. But there is always a qualifying. So there is a rule, 110% of the timing has to be there. But other than that, there is no restriction. They're 10 years above and they're certified and they have own a license. They're allowed to race.
Right from this year onwards, the whole grid is going to be populated by the teams themselves.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
The irony of this is that when you finished your question, the mic started working. So that will not happen here. Don't worry. Any other questions? Well, let's give a big round of thank yous to Sujit. Can give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Okay, this is a very, very special part of the program. So, if I call him his full name, I will not do justice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely a privilege for me to invite on stage a man who has inspired any number of bikers, to the tuners, to the guys who work in the garage, and to the man who has worked a phenomenon when he was racing. There's got to be one and only Bullet Boss to come forward, please. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know what? So, we were just joking that he says when we're talking the number of years in motorsports, he said he's a senior citizen. Yeah? So, can somebody guess the number of years that he's been in motorsports? If you give me a right answer, I will give you Tarun's cap. Now, you know how desperate I've been after his cap, yeah? 15. No. Come on. Come on, this is your bidding. I hope you're having it on camera. How many years? 55. No. Huh? 60. Okay, you're on the ballpark figure. Wow, 62. Tarun, your cap goes there. Yeah. 62 years, ladies and gentlemen. A man who's seen motorsports for 62 years. Come on, give a big round of applause. So rather than him addressing us, I just thought I'd directly jump into the question. Because as a biker, you get onto the bike, the first thing is the feel, the holy triangle. So my first question is, because you worked so much on so many bikes, I mean, the bike would be completely in one piece in the morning. When you come back in the evening, it is everywhere. So that's the way you've done. Tell me what the kind of hard work that is required to build a bike like this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my dear brotherhood, the kids who are going to be the future of motorsport in India. To be very frank, I also started racing at this age when I was 10. And I'll tell you one thing, if your parents are blessing you, you will go to a different level. So you should have the parents' blessings to come into motorsport. That is the first rule.
Right.
So I think these boys are all very lucky to have their parents blessing them to come into this sport.
They were so desperate, they don't want to listen to us. Show us the bike. I remember when we were showing the presentations to the kids, the first question we showed them 5 gears, this and all of that, cylinders, RPM. What is the top speed? That was the simple question they asked. So when you raced and now you're racing, there's a phenomenal difference, right? So could you talk about that?
Yeah, I started racing in the Lamberta scooter way back in 1960s. I started racing in the scooter. So that is the only scooter my father had. As Sujit said, without my father's permission, I used to take it, strip it, and then take it to the racetrack, and then finally he'll be searching for the scooter. My elder sister used to tell Baba, Babu was taking the scooter somewhere. Where the scooter machine owner has gone for servicing? So what he did in the racetrack stripped and been racing that scooter. That is how I started racing on the Lamberta scooter. And when you race the scooter, when all the apron, everything is removed, it was so scary because it was got a small wheel going at what 80-90 kilometer speed, and it used to be really very scared. And of course, we grew up with this. From the scooter, then I went into the Java. I said scooter is too slow. Then I wrote the Java. Then for 2-3 years I wrote the Java. Then that motor also was very slow. Then I switched on to the Royal Enfield Bullet. So the Bullet, the one which has taken me right from 1970s till I retired, I raced the Bullets.
You're not retired.
No, I'm not retired.
So that is out of question. Thankfully, your father was involved.
Yes.
But in our scenario, father-in-laws are involved. So we don't want to get there.
Yeah.
I want you to bring you back to the
I tell you the speed. My slowest speed on the track was 115 kilometers on the moped, TVS moped. And the fastest speed was 240 kilometers on the diesel, Yamaha diesel. So when I rode the diesel, I didn't know how to ride the bike also. Because every day it was popping a wheel. Even in the 6th gear it was popping a wheel on the stage in Solar. It was so scary actually, and the crosswind blowing in Solar from the Red Hills. The bike used to really shift at that speed in the track. And those days, we never had any jet. We had an ordinary one, cooling glass, one ordinary 25 rupees helmet, canvas shoes, jeans jacket. That is the way we rode those days. But I'll tell you very frankly, in Chodaram, I've never seen an accident at all. All the riders and the persons who rode, they were all very educated. They knew what is motorcycling. They were riding very decently. The motorsport was very friendly also those days. And second thing, now I want to ask Tarun, can I give you a suggestion on price?
You can, but I'm sure the tradition that happened in Sholavaram, our future rock stars will definitely. Can we have a big round of applause for our next set of riders? They will take that legacy forward. Yes, your suggestion.
Yeah. See, when we were racing, I started racing with 100 rupees in my pocket. And Chennai used to be called the Detroit of India.
Right.
Complete, all the automobile industry was around Chennai. So everybody, the managing director and chairman of every automobile industry used to participate in the event. And you just simply only have to go and ask them, sir, I want piston, I want tires, I want the gaskets, I want this carburetor. So everybody, no one changed. So to make you pay.
I believe you must have had a hard time searching for that.
And everything should be given free of cost. Free of cost, they used to come And I'll tell you, I'm really happy that I was racing in the gentleman's era. I call it the gentleman's era. All those people, they know, when they come to the track, they are not managing the chairman. They come and be along with you and they say, what do you want? Please tell us. Immediately the confidence will come.
Right.
So, what happened is, I will tell you the history also. In the 80s, we started making the go-karts. In the 1980s, we wanted to bring the cost down.
2 strokes.
2 strokes.
Right.
So, Kalivartan came out with an idea. He said, I'll build a chassis. Bring the other components. So we said, we asked TVS, Suzuki those days, Suzuki refused to give the engine. So we said, everybody should race on Rajdoot engine. So we put the Rajdoot engine, shifter car, those days the shifter car. We never had tires, we got auto rickshaw tires, MRF gate tires, and we built the car. And you know, the whole car never even costed 10,000 rupees also. And that was the stepping stone for building the fish meat. After that only we built the fish meat, and when we built the fish meat, the chassis was built.
Right.
I took the hand around because I am in this automobile industry for nearly about 65 years, and I knew all the manufacturers. So I went around to all the manufacturers and said, we want to build a car, why don't your company help? They all agreed, and I said, we don't want free. You give it at a discount price. So we got Maruti engine, they gave rings, Lucas gave batteries, all the electricals, tires, MRF gave. So we built the whole fish meat. Can anybody guess what was the cost when we built the fish meat car? The 800?
2.7 lakhs plus GST. Huh? No,
60,000 rupees was the cost of the fish meat when we built it.
60,000.
60,000. And we gave to everybody. Kali was the man behind that project.
Right.
So, what I suggest Tarun is, now since he's building this, he may have some engine, some 160cc engine.
Right.
He can go and ask the manufacturer, sir, I am going to promote your listing. Why don't ask free. Nowadays don't give free. So you ask them at cost. When it comes at cost, it will be peanuts.
Right.
You ask the tire manufacturers to give tires at cost.
Right.
Some question. So when you get all these components, your 2.75 will come down to 1.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Can we give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We will move to the next important aspect of it. From your words,
Why I am telling you this is, when I was sitting there, when you said 2.7 plus tax, I thought that is wonderful. Oh, this is good. 2.7 plus tax, plus 2.5. Oh, all these things I was there because I was sitting there. That's why immediately I came up with this idea. Just an idea only. You can always go and ask the manufacturers. So they will definitely help you in giving all the components, and then you can build. I can say you can build the first 100 bikes like that.
Right.
Whoever is lucky, let them buy the 100 bikes at this cost.
Right.
Then later on, it's not this big ball.
So,
Yes,
first thing, as I told, everything we have tried to cap, and the number of production is going high, the price automatically goes down. So, since these bikes have been on a limited production, so that's the reason, and we are also in touch with the manufacturers. As you said, we are not always depending on the free of cost. What we are trying to do is give us on time, we pay you. So that's the, So that we are working on that. Currently the pricing to keep increasing our research and also to increase the number of bikes. So this is the pricing what we have come up with.
So this is
I will vote for the carburetor. If you buy this carburetor in the market, it will be 5,000 rupees. Because the company is promotion, I will make sure that I give you the carburetor at 1,000.
Wow, let's give it a round of applause.
Thank you.
So sir, please stay with us. Tarun, you also stay with us. Let's move to the live launch. Can we go? Before that. Before that, we have a very, very important news. Sir, would you like to please come? And we have a very important news. This is as far as the biking teams. We have some flash news. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry to take a minute time again. So on this moment, so we would like to introduce our team in Malaysian Superbike Series, which is about to start in next 25 days. So we have a fully fledged Indian team going to compete in Malaysia now. So we would like to call the 4 riders confirmed for this year's championship. We'll start with Ashish Patel. So who was the second runner-up last year? He was competing in 250cc category. So this year he might also do 250 and also 600cc.
Just to add, he raced with a toe injury and in fact it's a toe fracture. Going beyond the odds to win this one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a big round of applause.
Yes. And the second rider, I would like the rider from Coimbatore, Abhinav. So he's class. Racing in 250A category, and we also have one little kid who is going to be racing in 250B category. It's Shreyas from Bangalore. So we are happy to have them on board. So in next 20 days, we are going to do the round 1 of MSBK. And we also would like to call Abhijit, the owner of Slideways Motor Ranch. He is always a passionate rider and also supports all the motorsport athletes. So he is going to be one of our sponsors for MSBK 2023. Welcome you on board. So we'll have a quick group picture. Yeah, just.
Good afternoon. I've been involved in motorsports for a long time. Actually, it's always been my passion. I'm a motorsport engineer by education as well. I've worked in British Formula 3 for about 3-4 years before I moved back to India, and I started racing myself in 2016 in Malaysian Superbike Championship. I've done about 4 seasons or 5 seasons of racing the 600cc. I've come on the podium a few times. I started Slideways Motor Ranch back in 2017, if I remember correctly. And the whole idea was to promote motorsports and to make motorsports accessible to the young talent. Because the big hurdle which we all see in motorsports is the cost and the access to tracks, access to facilities. So I set up this small flat track with whatever I could. I had the bikes of my own, Kawasaki 140cc motorbikes, where people could just come and ride on a flat track and kind of understand how a motorbike works. And that's how I've been introduced to Tarun. And I've always been a strong believer that we have to pay it forward, and we have to make sure that the younger generation gets the support. I've been fortunate enough to be able to afford to do motorsports for myself, but I think it's time to identify good talent and to promote them. And thankfully, I think Tarun has also come with the same mindset of democratizing motorsports, making it more accessible. And thanks to him today, we have some great talent who are going to be lining up on the grid in Malaysia. And and I'm also pleased to announce that this year I've taken Shreyas as he's the rider whom I'm going to be maybe sponsoring, and I'm really looking forward to having the next big talent from India, and yeah, and all the best to all the riders.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause. Thank you so much for being part of this. This has been one of the level. Maybe we can have a quick final group picture as you quickly stand. What a journey this has been. Thank you, gentlemen. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you and I have been waiting for. So we are ready now for what we've done about. What happened with the bikes? It's time to unveil the bikes. I request first the representatives from the FMSCM to please step forward, along with the special guests, and also Mr. Sraj will please come forward. I request the members to come forward. Where is the rock star from Baroda? Meera Rai, Swapnil. and we're going to be looking at all the members of the media and also the riders take on the track. This is going to be special.